love Jeff, but sweet and high. Whoop, Mr. Motorama Pumpkin Pie.
Welcome to Fueled by Death Show. Hey, it's not just a podcast anymore. Get ready, the show's about to begin.
Hello. We are very serious today.
We took news anchor classes over the weekend, and now we know how to sit like news anchors.
Actually, Dustin took the class. I'm just looking at what he's doing.
Are you doing a Ron Burgundy?
Yes. Scotch. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to Fueled by Death Show. We're really happy that you're here. This is the companion show to episode 95 of the podcast, and we'll get into that a little bit later in the show. To start it off, I am the Incredible Jeff.
And I am the amazing D-Man.
Today in today's news. If you guys want to follow us over on social media, it's super easy. Our social media of choice is Instagram, but we Facebook and Twitter a little bit as well. I am at Jeff Wish Coffee.
And I am at Death Wish Dust.
Ooh, I thought it was going to be real Christian Slater.
I was throwing you off.
By the way, we missed that last week, so let's just bring that back up. If you guys are not following at Real Christian Slater, please go and follow Christian Slater because we want the world to follow Christian Slater because why not?
Why not? There's nothing to lose. There's only minute things to gain.
It's true. Speaking of gaining things, if this is your first time joining the show, here's the deal. We like to give away something every single show.
Well, this is a good one.
Tries to be a little bit special. And this one's no different. We're giving away a mug this show, and all you got to do is share the show and drop a comment to be entered to win. And here's the mug.
Jeff, do you remember the release of this mug?
The Snake Patrick, as it is called in the Mug Lifers. Do I remember the release of it? I do not, actually. I mean, I had just started at the company.
Ah, okay.
Because this was the St. Patrick's Day mug of 2017. I started at basically February 28th, February 27th.
You were like yeah.
So like everything was just
your
like
gills were as green as this mug glaze.
Yeah. So why? What was there? What were you going to?
It was an insane. It was one of the fastest moving mugs of that year. The design was such a hit. I think both in the mug shape and the medallion, that it was in such high demand and was wiped out on the first day.
Yeah.
It was one of those 5,000 mugs are gone in 8 hours day. It was insane.
That means that these are really hard to find, guys, but you could have one for your very own. All you got to do is drop a comment in those comments during the show. Be part of the conversation. We'll pick a lucky comment after the show is over, and one lucky winner will win this mug. Demon and myself will sign it and give it right out to you. You went, at the number. What's the number?
662.
662. It's a low number.
666.
I bet you 666 is out there somewhere.
I haven't, because I'm the Antichrist, Jeff.
That's true. But yeah, super easy, guys. Share and comment. One lucky comment will win this mug at the end of the show. Who's that guy? That guy with all the voices. Oh, yeah, Brock Powell.
BrockVox.com.
We love Brock Powell. He is the voice of this show and 1,000 other voices out there in the world. Seriously, go check out BrockVox.com. Go follow him on all social media. We love Brock to death. And stick around for the show, guys. We've got a lot of fun for you. Obviously, science, some birthdays. You get to meet a Death Star, get a sneak peek of the Death Guest. We're going to roast some pumpkins.
Is that something you can do? You can roast and eat pumpkins?
You can, yeah, but we're not going to do that.
I don't know if I've eaten.
We're going to roast pumpkins. I think you have. I would say you had. Maybe not.
Can we roast and eat pumpkins later this year?
Sure, definitely.
I'm into it.
Okay.
I mean, they're healthy for you, right?
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of food, though, there might be something chocolatey on the update.
Is it fucking chocolate?
Maybe. You frickin' news anchor.
Oh, Jesus.
Secret code unlocked. Discount of death.
This week until Wednesday, October 17th, on deathwishcoffee.com, if you use the discount code Chris51, that will nail you 15% off of all Death Wish coffee. And what I mean by that is 1 pounders, 2 pounders, 5 pounders, 10 count death cups,
50 count death cups,
20 count death cups, all of the things that are Death Wish and coffee. If you use the discount code Chris51, this will nail you 15% off of those products. Jeff, can you spell Chris51?
It's all one word. It's CHRIS51.
Do we know why it's Chris 51?
Yeah, because he's actually the guest on the show, on the podcast tomorrow, and we'll talk to you guys a little bit more about that in the show later on. But yeah, Chris 51 is giving you 15% off of everything Death Wish Coffee for an entire week.
Wait, is he himself giving
Yes.
away?
No, like you type in the code, and then he frantically has to go to the store, buy coffee, and then send it to you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't he busy enough?
Oh, he doesn't know this is happening yet.
Oh.
Ha-ha.
Science!
Okay, D-Man, so even though we're going to space this week, it's a topic that you love.
It's Nibiru.
It's Nibiru.
You know what's so weird is that we report on this so many times. Is this a different thing that we're finding?
Yeah.
I feel like every time we is that another planet? It's another fucking planet? Is that Nibiru? No, it's just nothing. It's nothing.
We might have just found Planet 9, which is considered Nibiru. And if you've never heard us talk about this on the show or you don't know what we're talking about, I'll run it down for you real quick. There's two separate theories on what Planet 9 actually is. The first suggests that Planet 9 was formed much closer to the sun, perhaps near Mars. But then as our solar system was being created, the larger planets like Jupiter and Saturn kind of pushed it out of our solar system.
Bullies.
Yeah, super bullies. A different school of thought actually says that it could be a captured exoplanet. It's scooped up from interstellar space or even stolen directly from our young sun from an early galactic neighbor. God bless you.
Oh, thank you, Jeff.
While our sun currently resides, our sun in our solar system, it currently resides in a fairly empty patch of space where interactions with other large bodies are rare. We do know stars often form clusters containing anything from tens to millions of celestial siblings. So that's the other school of thought, is that maybe this was something that was just outside of our solar system, and we kind of took it.
So it moves on a completely different axis from the rest of the...
Totally, and that's why it's this elusive Planet 9. People have been looking for it for many years now because they think it's out there, but because it's so vast beyond where we know of Pluto, it's very hard to see something out there. Astronomers have now found a new dwarf planet in the Oort cloud. Now, the Oort cloud is the spherical frozen cloud of icy objects that surrounds our solar system just outside of Pluto. So if you leave our solar system outside of Pluto, you're basically you're hitting like an ice tray of just like a bunch of ice particles, just like kind of like in a ring around our solar system.
Okay.
And this dwarf planet, which some are referring to as a moon, exists out here. Now, this is for real. We definitely know that it's out there. In fact, that little tiny green little dot right there, that's it. And this new object, that it has an orbit that supports the presence of an unknown massive planet. So the way that this is orbiting suggests that it has something pulling its gravity.
Oh, so we can see the moon, but we can't see the planet?
Correct.
Wow. Why can't we see the planet?
Maybe it's being obscured by the ice. Maybe we're just not looking in the right spot. Again, I don't know the exact answer, but look at this tiny little dot of space that's probably hundreds of thousands of miles.
Wow. We found the 9th planet's moon, but we haven't found the 9th planet yet.
Possibly. We're just saying that because this could be a moon orbiting another thing. I have a really cool video that I'm going to play some clips for you guys directly from NASA that kind of breaks down a little bit of this area of space and looking for moons in relation to Planet 9. And here's that.
In 2017, astronomers using NASA's Kepler telescope found hints of evidence of what they thought could be the first exomoon ever detected, a moon orbiting a planet outside our solar system. A lot of people were very excited about the potential discovery, and the research team requested time on NASA's Hubble Space Telescope to see if there was truly a moon. Now, the data from Hubble is in and processed. Have scientists found our first exomoon? Looks like they still need more observations to be 100% sure. The moons in our solar system are very diverse, some with liquid water, some that are potentially habitable, so being able to observe moons in different solar systems would give us a whole new treasure trove of interesting worlds to study. The planet Kepler 1625b is likely several times the mass of Jupiter. Its possible moon appears to be about the mass and radius of Neptune. The ratio between the mass of this planet and its moon is about the same as between the Earth and our moon, but scaled way up. Neptune-sized moons are obviously not something that exists in our own solar system, and we're not sure exactly how such a moon would form. When scientists first started discovering exoplanets, a lot of them were several times the mass of Jupiter because big planets are easier to detect. So a similar thing may happen when discovering the first exomoons. Finding planets and moons so different from the ones in our own solar system gives us a lot more knowledge of the many diverse ways planetary systems can exist. In the near future, scientists hope to use the Hubble Space Telescope to try to confirm the discovery of this exomoon. And then they'll use Hubble for follow-up observations of other planetary systems discovered by observatories like Kepler and the recently launched Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite, TESS. And then the upcoming James Webb Space Telescope will be able to take high-precision measurements in infrared wavelengths, which combined with Hubble will allow for detailed characterizations of a whole bunch of really interesting exoplanets and likely exomoons. So, if you like planets, and honestly, who doesn't? Stay tuned to learn about all sorts of fascinating new worlds.
So I mean, it's really interesting to think about celestial bodies outside of our solar system. Obviously, we know that there's tons of stars out there and stuff like that, but when it's so close to our backyard, it's like, what could be out there? Are there really planets out there? Is there another star, another system?
Are the Anunnaki coming to collect their gold to recharge their atmosphere?
Nibiru.
They're not.
They're not. So this dwarf planet or moon is nicknamed the Goblin. It has a diameter of 186 miles across, and it's 2 times as far from our sun than Pluto. So it's out there. It's way out there.
Wow.
But I mean, what's weird is its orbit, and that's why we're kind of really looking farther into this and now really scanning this part of the sky with many more telescopes to really kind of uncover the mysteries of it. Dr. David Tholen, an astronomer at the University of Hawaii, said, "We think there could be thousands of small bodies like this one, which is dubbed 2015 TG387, out on the solar system's fringes, but their distances make finding them very difficult." And they ran a bunch of simulations to show how this orbits around what we think could be a planet and also our own solar system, how it's orbiting our own solar system. And most of the simulations showed that not only was this dwarf planet orbit stable for the age of our solar system, it was actually shepherded by Planet 9's gravity. Again, if Planet 9 exists, it is definitely influencing this thing that we just found.
Huh.
This gravitational shepherding could explain why the most distant objects in our solar system exhibit the same orbits. So this isn't the first time we've observed orbits like this, but we've never understood why aren't they being affected by Pluto or Neptune or our solar system in general, because they do have, Pluto and Neptune both have gravitational pull. Yeah. So why aren't they affecting them? Is something else out there affecting it? That's, again, why everybody's been like, this elusive Planet 9, is it out there? And it definitely could be. Dr. Chad Trujillo, ugh, terrible, an astronomer at Northern Arizona University, says what makes this result really interesting is that Planet 9 seems to affect this discovery the same way as all other extremely distant solar system objects. These simulations do not prove that there's another massive planet in our solar system, but there's further evidence that something big could be out there. So to answer your question at the beginning of this science segment, yes, it is another time we're talking about Planet 9 where we've almost found it, but
so
not
weird.
really.
I mean, there could be a lot of these things that are just working on different orbit. We don't fully understand even gravitational pull and how it's affecting things in the outside universe. We don't understand black matter, which we're completely surrounded by. That could be influencing this.
Yeah.
We truly don't understand. There might be a whole nother string of planets that are orbiting our sun completely different than the planets that we know.
Yeah.
You know, there might be 100 planets in our solar system that we just don't know about. It's crazy.
It is crazy. And the science fiction, adage is like how you said it, like, are the aliens coming and looking for their gold? That's not what what science is really looking for. Science is looking for, is there a large mass out there that's affecting the gravitational pull of a lot of these bodies that we know exist out there? And if it is, then we can, for the first time ever, study something close to a solar system, which happens to be our own. So we know how the inner workings of our solar system work, and then this thing that's right in our backyard, we can then study how that is almost interacting, but not really. So like the amount of data we'll be able to gain from something like that is incredible. So what's cool is we're looking even harder now at this area of space, and maybe we're gonna find even more.
Dude, I really do believe there's a whole lot more to our solar system than we understand what's actually going on.
Totally.
All of our understandings of space are completely rudimentary, and there will be a few discoveries that will completely change our perspective on the way things work outside of Earth.
Totally.
It's incredible.
And it seems like almost every other day we're making discoveries just like that are blowing our minds and being like, wow, that's how the universe works? Incredible.
Yeah, it's never-ending discoveries. Can you imagine what we know 100 years from now?
Yeah.
It'd be a completely different layout. The little model that you're building for school with all the planets that go around. I mean, if you think about it, it's very, very simplistic thinking. And
totally.
It's a lot more than what we truly understand.
Totally.
This is just one step closer. I think, if we do find this Planet 9, we do get our eyes on it, we do get to collect data from it, that'll be one step in that direction to really unfold what's happening in our solar system.
Yeah, it's awesome. And that's why we love doing this science segment, because we get to report on some really cool stuff that's happening now in our solar system.
I'm not scared of space today. I'm inspired by it.
Awesome.
Good. It is a fully operational Death Star of the week.
And Brock does such a good job on those voices.
I love it.
It's incredible.
I love it. And I love that yet again, it is another Death Star of the Week time. And chance for you guys out there to meet another member of our amazing community of Death Wish coffee drinkers. And this is no different. In fact, I was visited in person by this person, which was great. If you are a fan of the official Death Wish Coffee Company community page over on Facebook, she's active over there. But if you've never met her, you're going to meet Corina Werner right now. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming into our brand new studio. You're the second Death Star to be able to come in here in person, and you just gave me a great compliment on it. It makes me feel nice that people are liking the space.
It's very nice, very nice.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to start the same way I start every single time, because I think it's the best way to do it. I want to know, how did you hear about Death Wish Coffee? When was the first time you heard about the company or the product?
Well, my story's a little different from everybody else's.
All right.
I was working as a home health care aide,
Uh-huh.
and I had to work overnight shifts. And I'd go to work at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and have to be there till 9 or 10 in the morning. And I was drinking energy drinks like crazy because you have to stay awake to take care of your client. And my boyfriend, Peter, had already known about the company and the coffee, and he says to me, next time you're off, we're going to go on a little trip. So he brought me up to Saratoga Traders, and we had my first cup of Death Wish, and I was hooked from that moment on.
Awesome.
Just after that, it was like I was constantly buying the coffee or coming up here and grabbing coffee.
Were you a big coffee drinker before discovering Death Wish? Were you? Let me rephrase that. Were you big into strong coffee before discovering Death Wish?
Not at all.
Really?
Not at all.
Interesting.
I drank coffee and, of course, Folgers, Maxwell House. Now I go to taste those, and it's just like, oh, my God. Why did I even drink this stuff?
So speaking on coffee then, how much coffee do you think you drink daily?
I probably have 3 cups.
3 cups. That's
maybe
good.
1 at night, depending on the day. But
Yeah.
I like to have 1 at night.
Okay. Yeah, I honestly, I'm the same way. Every now and again at night, I get that hankering for coffee, and I can fall asleep on it. It'll keep me up, don't get me wrong. But, sometimes at night, a nice warm cup of coffee. That's awesome. What's your brewing method?
Just regular old drip.
Yeah, I mean, it's always was my method forever. In fact, I still like the drip machine, My wife and I do use French press, and I do enjoy the French press now. But yeah, I mean, what's a better way than just putting it in a machine and hit the brew button and
Exactly.
it brews it, right?
We've gone camping a couple times and we've used the old-fashioned
The percolator, yeah, the old
and
school.
It's really good when you're out camping.
Oh,
and you
yeah.
use the percolator on the fire. It's yummy.
Oh yeah, there's something to be said about a cup of coffee in the middle of the woods, like early in the morning, right after the sun comes up. Something to be said about that for sure. So, as a fan of the company, the other questions that I always get to, you are, I believe, a collector of the mugs as well. Do you collect the mugs?
I am.
What was the first mug that you collected from the company?
I had joined the fan page, and there was a gentleman giving away a Christmas tanker, the white Christmas.
The white one.
And you had to enter the contest and tell him why you wanted this. And obviously, I told him, it would be my first mug. I hadn't purchased any. Couldn't afford it at the time. I don't know really what my story was, but I won it.
That's
and
awesome.
it ended up being my very first mug. And then after that, I was hooked and I started buying mugs.
Of course,
So-
just like the rest of us. And do you have, throughout your collecting, do you have a favorite mug of your collection now?
I don't have they're all my favorites.
That's the best answer ever.
They're all my favorites. The white tanker, I have to say, because it was my first.
Yeah.
But I have a very special mug, which isn't a Death Wish mug, and that's my Jeff Gordon 24 mug.
Oh, cool.
Obviously, he's no longer, he's with NASCAR, but he's no longer a driver.
Right.
He retired, but he was my guy.
Yeah.
He was my favorite, and my husband passed away almost 11 years ago, and he bought me that. I
Aw,
use it daily.
that's awesome. So you're a big NASCAR fan. What did you think of when we started doing stuff with NASCAR?
I wanted that die-cast 95.
I know, me too.
And I still want that
Me
die-cast
too.
95. I loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah, I think we're going to continue to do stuff. They're a great organization, and I don't know even as much about it as, like Mike does and stuff like that, because he handles all that kind of thing. But, what we've been able to do with Ty Dillon and that kind of thing. And it's just cool to me to see a big black car with a Death Wish logo going around the track.
That's actually my cover photo on my Facebook page. I loved it. I loved it.
That's awesome. So the final question then is, through it all, through seeing everything that we've done with the company, with our mugs, with our sponsorships like NASCAR, with our merchandise, is there stuff that we haven't done that you'd like to see us try?
Like everybody said, you guys do so much, and there's so much more that you're going to do. I'm still looking for that umbrella.
Umbrella.
I mean, it rains everywhere.
Yeah.
And I would love to be sporting a Death Wish umbrella out
Yeah,
in the
with
rain.
the big logo, big
Yeah.
black umbrella. Ooh, I like that.
I love that. I mean,
It does rain everywhere.
It rains everywhere, even in Southern California.
Yeah, no, and I've brought it up before as an idea, as an umbrella, because I've seen it where different events that we've done, like Comic-Cons or something like that, people clean up that sell umbrellas at events when it's raining, because it's like, oh no, it's raining. Like, and I've done that. I've been at a Comic-Con before and it's pouring and I'm stuck in New York City and it's like, well, I guess I'm buying a $5 umbrella from this vendor right here, and I have just the most randomest umbrellas because of
I
that.
don't care if it's one of those that smooth together and you can take it with you.
Yeah.
Or if it's the one with the cane.
With the
type
cane?
handle.
Ooh, that'd be
I don't
cool.
care. I just would love to see a Death Wish
That's
umbrella.
a great idea. I'm going to run that up the flagpole again for 2019. I'd love to see that happen. That's awesome. I can't thank you enough for coming in and sitting down and talking with us, because it's really great to have you on as a Death Star.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
The Fueled by Death guest.
Okay, guys, we're really excited for this week's guest because we've actually been wanting to get him on the show for a couple years now, ever since we met him. Chris 51 is incredible. First and foremost, he's a tattoo artist. He runs and operates a shop in Oregon called Area 51 Tattoo with an incredible amount of different artists out there, and they turned that into a reality television show called Epic Inc. that was on A&E for a season, which was really cool. He's since taken that idea and ran with it and has started Geekster Inc. Legends, which is a traveling tour of tattoo artists that tours around with Comic-Cons and Walker Stalker and all these different conventions. And it's insane. And he specializes in pop and geek culture tattoos. I have some examples here of some of the stuff that he's done. And all the people that work with him are all versed in specific things. Like, he has awesome horror guys and awesome sci-fi guys and awesome cartoon guys and awesome anime guys, black and white color and that kind of stuff. Stuff I'm showing you guys behind us right here, this is all his own work.
So incredible. That's really super, super, super clean work.
I mean,
saturation of the color. This is now Ink Master.
Yes, this is now. No, he's just incredible at what he does. And not only do we get to talk to him at a convention, at the recent Heroes and Villains convention down in New Jersey, but we talk to him about conventions because he's getting into the game and starting the first annual Headbangers Con this November, a month from now, in Oregon. In Portland.
And a cool thing about, if you do go to Headbangers Con, you'll find a couple of friends of this podcast there at their own booths. Aaron Patrick.
And Wayne Lozniak from Hatebreed. Basically what this is think of a Comic-Con where you can go and meet your favorite comic book artists and writers. It's the same thing, but subplant metal music in there. So you can meet some of your favorite guitarists and bassists and singers and drummers, and they'll be right on hand. Take pictures, sign photos. I know some of the guitarists are literally bringing their guitar, so you can take a photo with their guitar. How cool is that?
I can't believe this hasn't been done before, because you see somebody who's a badass, and you go, that guy's a rock star. I want to meet him. Well, these are actual fucking rock stars.
Yeah.
And now you get to meet them for, like, the first time in a setting like this. It's kind of genius.
Yeah, and there'll be panels just like conventions where these people will talk about their craft. They even have, just from this poster alone, you can probably tell, the actual artist who draws Eddie for Iron Maiden is going to be on hand and do a panel. He never does panels.
That's crazy.
That's incredible. And it's a two-day event, and on that first night, November 10th, that Saturday, just down the road at one of the big venues in Portland, some of these guys are going to get their whole bands together, and they're going to play a show.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's like open mic night with legends.
Yeah. So basically, we talk about this. We talk about Geekster Inc. Legends. We talk about all sorts of stuff. I'll put up all those links in the show tomorrow, but I have a sneak peek of our interview with Chris 51 for you guys right here. Now, you're getting into the game yourself.
I am, dude, yeah.
This winter, you're heading the inaugural, if I said that word terribly.
We'll just glaze over that, Jeff.
Headbangers Convention.
Yeah,
Holy
yeah.
crap. Where did where'd the idea come from, and, like, what is this all about?
Okay, so I'm really excited about this, you guys. Like, this has never been done, you know. I've taken my love for the Comic-Con atmosphere and the platform, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, and it's never been done for rock and roll, heavy metal, punk. It's never been done for music, right?
Yeah.
So basically how it started was I was tattooing at Walker Stalker, Philly, last year. And we were filming we filmed a show about the Geekster Inc., like a traveling road show about the Geekster Inc. Legends. Okay, so we were filming an episode, and one of my guys is like, hey, I tattoo Morgan Rose, the drummer for Seven Dust, and I have a Seven Dust tattoo. I love Seven Dust. And should I bring him in and tattoo him on the show? Because we're always looking to pull in celebrities. I mean, you know, you want the show to be popular.
Of course.
And I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, I'll get tattooed by him. Like,
Yeah.
So I ended up, my boy Brett tattooed Morgan, and then Morgan autographed my ankle under my tattoo.
Oh, rad.
R2D2 needs to shut
up
out
R2
there.
is just, like, being so
Move along,
loud.
R2, move along. So anyways.
It's the loudest R2 ever, by the way.
So loud.
He's like 300 feet away.
I know.
He's so loud.
So loud.
Son of a bitch.
So anyway, so Brett is tattooing me, and Morgan's sitting right there autographing it, and I just like go into interview mode, fanboy mode,
course.
and I just start asking Morgan all these questions about Seven Dust and his
that's so
sex,
cool.
drugs, and rock and roll. You know what I mean? And my wife, and I'm just in awe, and my wife's noticing something else though. You know, we get on the plane and we fly home, and my wife's like, you know, you've tattooed Charlie. So I tattooed Charlie, the drummer for Anthrax, too.
Cool.
And Charlie's a huge geek, like, and I tattoo him at con. he comes to Comic-Cons to get tattooed because he loves Comic-Cons.
Oh, that's cool.
And then, so she kind of, that was in the back of her mind. And the Morgan thing happened. We're on the plane, and she's like, did you see like how in awe Morgan was of the con, like how much he loved it, and how he even talked about his bandmates would love it, and like he needs to bring more people to these? I'm like, yeah, duh. My wife's way smarter than me. So she's like, well, honey, with all the like celebrity clientele that you actually tattoo and are friends with from all these cons, and then Morgan having that, presence in the industry and that respect in the music industry.
Yeah.
You have the entertainment industry, he has the music industry. Why don't you do a Comic-Con for heavy metal? And a light bulb went off. I was like, that's never been done. I don't think it's, and I started going on the internet and researching. It's never been done.
Wow.
I was like, how has this never been done? Yeah. And I told my wife, I was like, are you sure? Because she knows like I'm a fucking pit bull, dude. I'm like, you tell me to do something, like I got blinders on, I'm gonna go for it. And she knew she wasn't gonna get any attention for like the next year of her life. She's like, I know, just do it. I know, you got passion for metal and music like you do for, pop culture and The Simpsons and that kind of stuff. So she's like, do it,
Happy birthday! Surprise! I'm naked.
Do you really think Brock was naked when he said that?
Yeah, well, I mean that voicing booth he has is in his house. He doesn't have to put
It's
on
actually in
clothes.
his laundry room, so he could have been doing laundry and waiting for his clothes to come out.
I'll just assume he was naked.
Me too.
Just for my peace of mind.
Just for my mental pictures.
I need to know he was honest while making this bump.
Oh, man. Well, let's get into some birthdays. On Thursday, October 11th, this show just came back on the air, so fans of The Walking Dead, Mr. Lenny James is going to be 53 years old. You probably know him from his movie career, too. I mean, Snatch, all sorts of different stuff out there, but obviously the biggest thing he's known for now is his portrayal of Morgan on The Walking Dead.
Which is a really intense character.
Oh, so intense. When he came back with the bow staff and was all Jediing everybody to death.
And then he constantly has to deal with killing, not killing.
Yeah.
In a post-apocalyptic world where you have to kill to survive, and he doesn't want to kill anybody anymore.
It's pretty crazy.
And, spoiler alert, he does eventually, and then he has to deal with that. It's really intense.
He is so intense, and he's one of those amazing British actors that if you see him in an interview and he starts talking, you're like, that's not Morgan.
Wow.
It's great.
When British guys do American accents,
amazing.
It blows my mind.
Yeah.
You can't tell they're so good at it.
Yeah, it's so good. So a happy birthday to Lenny on Thursday. On Friday, October 12th, Huge Act Man.
I love Hugh Jackman.
Huge Act Man. Hugh Jackman. This guy is a triple threat. Not only is he a very good actor, he can sing and he can freaking dance.
Woo!
I have not seen it yet, but I heard that The Greatest Showman was excellent.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
The musical. I know you're not a musical fan. I do like musicals and I will see it. But I mean, if you've ever seen like even the opening of the Oscars or the Tonys, he's there doing like singing and dancing and stuff like that. He's incredible. He can do it all.
He's Hugh Jackman.
He is Hugh Jackman, but obviously, I mean, if I'm talking about him,
Don't bring up Wolverine.
of course I'm going to bring up Wolverine. He's so good as Wolverine because we got to see this character evolve. Here's a picture of him as Wolverine in the original X-Men movie in 2001 or 2000 when that came out, Bryan Singer, and then he evolved into this. Logan, at the end of the character's life, it was such a character arc to see a superhero like that evolve as Hugh Jackman evolved, because he became he aged 18 years in between all of that. Like,
that's incredible.
It's incredible. And I
gotta say, out of the Marvel movies, probably the best character arc that they have within the movie.
100%, because they had the amount of time to do it.
Yeah.
And if you guys have not seen Logan yet,
It's so good.
it's so good.
I'm not like a huge Marvel movie.
You're not.
You know that.
Yeah.
But Logan was definitely like one of the best, probably top 3 Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Definitely top 3 Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Deadpool has to be number 1, right?
Well, not for me, but for you, that's cool.
But like Logan,
Yeah.
it's right. It made me cry.
Yeah. The last time Trish and I watched it, we we shared a bottle of wine, and by the end of it, she was a mess. And I was like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "I just love Wolverine." I'm like, "Oh my god."
See, I think the best thing about
But
movies
that's Hugh
is-
Jackman.
Yeah, when they can take you away,
Totally.
and you're able to like experience those things with you. But as soon as they do something dumb or out of place, it completely yanks me out of it.
I know.
I do automatically fall out of love. I was never yanked out of this movie. I believed it the whole way, and I cried.
Aw.
I cried.
It's a great, great movie. So happy birthday to Hugh on Friday. Finally, on Wednesday, October 17th, friend of the show, Wyclef Jean. Wyclef is going to be 49 years old. We love Wyclef. We've had him on this show twice. If you guys never heard those episodes, I actually have a photo of the last time we had him on of Dustin and myself with Wyclef backstage. And Wyclef loves not only this company, but our merchandise too. This was before we even released this hat. He wore that all show on stage, which was really cool to see. We loved having him on both times. In fact, he's coming out finally with his brand new idea, which is amazing. Wyclef Goes Back to School, where he's featuring a bunch of college students on his brand new album and doing a collaborative process, making like a mixtape basically of music. And he talked about that for one of the first times ever on this podcast. And I wanted to play you guys a little clip of that right here.
I had the idea of why Clef goes back to school, which would be the next mixtape. And then there was a young man by the name of Kofi, Kofi Black. So we had connected through Sus One. I was doing an interview, and then we were supposed to get in the studio and just work. But I was on the road. I was moving. He was moving. And then one day I had 4 days off.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I got a hold of Kofi. That's Kofi. And I was like, yo, let's come and catch a vibe. I literally kid you not. We went in the studio and have came up with an entire mixtape in like 4 days.
Wow.
So once again, like music, right? When it breeds like the right energy, because it's supposed to, like when you hear Sakap Fet, you're like, man, this just makes me feel good. I don't know.
Yep.
And that's what music is really supposed to do. And I think sometimes we forget that, you know?
Dude, I can't believe he's 49.
I know.
That's insane. He looks
Great.
He looks so good. I
Yeah.
feel bad about myself and my ways of aging compared to him. Just
It's all right.
amazing.
It's all right.
I smell a roast.
Does it smell like roasted pumpkin? I can't wait to roast pumpkin with you, Jeff.
Before we start the roast, as always, guys, I want to give you one more chance. If you have not yet, please share this episode. Drop a comment in those comments. Be part of the conversation. One lucky comment at the end of the show will be picked to win this mug. It's the Snake Patrick 2017 St. Patrick's Day mug. You cannot find this mug anymore, and except for right here, and we'll sign it, send it out to one lucky winner.
Man, the mug lifers are better at naming these mugs than we are.
Oh, totally.
I
We're just
gotta
like, we're like mug number 6 this year.
Snake Patrick, so smart.
Yeah.
So smart.
It's good. I like it. So, yeah. So, pumpkins. Basically, throughout all of October, I want to keep the roasts in a theme of our October theme. And I was thinking about pumpkins recently. And literally, I had the thought, why are pumpkins associated with Halloween? And more importantly, why are jack-o'-lanterns associated with Halloween? And maybe some of you guys knew this, and
The
I
Headless
didn't.
Horseman?
No, not at all.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, that's way later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, Jeff.
So pumpkins originated in Central America 9,000 years ago and are now one of the most popular crops in the U.S. with 1.5 billion pounds of pumpkins being produced every year in the U.S.
You ever see like the big pumpkin contests?
The pumpkin chunkin'?
No, not where they launch them.
Oh, that's amazing.
That is amazing. I totally agree. It's great. But there are contests where people see if they could grow the biggest pumpkin. And you ever see how big they can get?
They can get huge.
Like bigger than people, like freakishly giant.
Yeah.
I had a neighbor that used to grow them, and we used to sneak over and steal some of them, and they were so heavy we had to carry them back like miles through the woods, and he would come out and shoot us with salt pellets. Oh, great childhood memory there.
It's so great. So I can't think of another fruit or vegetable that's revered like the pumpkin is. I mean, you know, apples are associated with like apple pie and like the big apple and that kind of thing. And like, but pumpkins, because of Halloween and fall, like you get, you know, decorations with pumpkins on them. We decorate pumpkins. I can't think of another fruit or vegetable that like is revered to this point.
I guess a Christmas tree doesn't count.
That's as close as we'll get.
Mistletoe?
Is a Christmas tree? I think is as close as we'll get. I didn't know this. They were used as folk medicine by Native Americans, and this practice was actually adopted by American doctors in the early 19th century. What it was used for was to treat intestinal worms, because pumpkin actually helps you digest and flushes your system.
Oh.
So it actually wasn't like a crazy thing. It really did work, but Native Americans have been using these for thousands of
Are
years.
they just eating that shit raw, or are they roasting it?
Probably eating it raw.
They're roasting that root vegetable good.
There's also early folklore surrounding pumpkins being the favorite motif for witches to turn people into pumpkins, or Sleepy Hollow with the headless horseman wearing a pumpkin.
Or the chariot for Cinderella turns into a pumpkin.
So like pumpkins have been used in folklore like that for a very lots of different reasons. But this one is the reason why jack-o'-lanterns are a thing. This is the legend of Stingy Jack. It's an Irish folklore. And there's many different tellings of this, but the most popular telling of this story is that Stingy Jack was a miserable drunk, and he loved to play pranks on people, his family, his friends, his neighbors, even the devil. And he pranked the devil once to climb an apple tree.
What's the devil doing just hanging out?
I don't know. Well, back in old folklore, the devil was always hanging out. The devil was always just around.
Leave him alone.
I know, exactly. First of all, leave him alone. So he got him to.
Did he know it was the devil? He must not.
Oh yeah, he knew it was the devil. So he tricked him to climb the tree, and then he immediately surrounded the tree with crosses, so the devil couldn't climb back down. Oh. And the devil was mad, obviously, and so Stingy Jack said, "If you promise never to take my soul to hell, I'll let you down." And so the devil says, "Sure, I promise." And so
bad move, dude.
Yeah. So Stingy Jack takes all the crosses down. The devil gets out of the tree. Cut to years and years later, Stingy Jack dies, and he goes to the gates of heaven, and St. Peter's at the gates of heaven, and St. Peter says, "You ain't getting in here. You were a prankster and an asshole and a drunk. Yeah, you're not going to heaven." So he sends him to hell, and the devil says, "I always keep my promises." So he doesn't take his soul. So he doesn't let him into hell. And so Stingy Jack's like, "What am I supposed to do?" And he's supposed to wander the netherworld and earth for eternity. And he goes and he says to the devil's like, "Well, get out of here. You got to leave. But it's dark. After you leave the fires of hell, it's dark." He's like, "How do I find my way back?" And so the devil reached down and picked up an ember of hell and threw it at him and said, "Here, use this to light your way." And Stingy Jack had a turnip in his pocket. It was the style at the time. I don't know.
So I tied an onion to my belt, which was the style at the time.
If you get hungry, you get a little turnip
Yeah.
snack.
He hollowed out the turnip and put the ember of hell in there, which lit his way out of the depths of hell, and he wandered forever the netherworld and earth. Now, what in Irish folklore what is they would take turnips or other gourds, hollow them out, put lights in them, put them on their porches, and that would ward off evil spirits and keep Stingy Jack away from your house during the harvest. So, cut to the Irish migrating to America. And when they started to come over to America, they were like, "Holy crap, what are these giant orange gourds that are way easier to hollow out?"
Yeah.
You know, and so they just ported that tradition over to a pumpkin because they had never had pumpkins before. Yeah.
Really?
And that's why we have the jack-o'-lantern. In fact, I have a photo right here. This is a traditional early Irish turnip thing, which is
that's
creepy.
way creepier.
This is in a museum, actually. Yeah, it's super creepy.
Wow, so that's like an actual...
Yeah.
Oh, super creepy.
Super creepy. So then that got me to thinking, for roast purposes, carving jack-o'-lanterns. I mean, it's a tried and true tradition now, obviously, in American culture, and for Halloween, it is synonymous with Halloween. You have Halloween, you have the witch, the ghost, and the jack-o'-lantern, and the skeleton. Those things are so Halloween, it's ridiculous. And there's so many good examples out there, really spooky, scary ones, which a lot of times now, I remember being a kid and the triangles and then the triangle mouth and stuff like that. Now you can do this kind of stuff with like stencils.
Yeah, I remember getting the kid as a kid, and you would poke
like
holes
that
through the line, and then
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
it's pretty rad.
Really
but again, the shitty thing about those kits? What I hate about those kits is they're like, here's a bunch of stencils and here's everything you need to do to make this thing, and it comes with this blade that immediately breaks.
Always breaks.
Yeah, the minute, and you guys know what I'm talking about. Like the minute you use it, like just use a paring knife. It works way better than this tiny little saw.
This year we're releasing the Death Wish pumpkin saw.
Oh man, we should. That'd be great. We could team up with Cold Steel.
Oh,
That'd be
why Why didn't we think of this earlier?
Oh,
God damn it.
Next year. But there's so many, like, these guys. You've probably seen these on
God, it's
television.
incredible.
The people who actually carve pumpkin.
And the way they use it, that the thinness of the pumpkin, the light shines through a little bit
Yeah.
more. It's incredible.
It's incredible. Do I have another example? Oh,
that's a good
I have funny examples too, because I mean, like, you could, like, these aren't, you know, anybody artistic, but I mean, how funny is that? That's super funny. And like those, like, traditional ones, you know. What really bothers me is jack-o'-lanterns, and the idea of putting pumpkins out is the easiest, most fun thing to do during this time of year. You know, I mean, like, literally, like I said, there were many years as a kid, like, I would do it with my dad, and it would just be triangle, mouth with the teeth.
Yeah.
And that's it.
You know.
But then you put the candle in there, and it's great, and we would roast.
I feel like I can smell pumpkin guts right now.
Did you ever roast the pumpkin seeds?
Yeah, all the time. I
Oh,
still do.
the best, you know, because then you pour it out, you use the...
Pumpkin seeds are good for the libido, Jeff.
They are.
Yeah, they're great. They're like one of the best foods for your libido.
Well, when I was 10, that didn't matter, but they were delicious, and we used to do that all the time. Oh, here's an adorable one. See, just you know, just cute stuff to do with kids and stuff like that. What pisses me off more than anything is this trend of people painting pumpkins or using decals and putting crap on pumpkins.
That's not a lantern.
Because not only do people do this thing right here with people painting on them, then they try to sell them. That's the frickin' worst. Have you ever been to like a pumpkin patch or whatever and like, oh, buy my painted pumpkin? First of all, I could do that at home. Second of all, fuck you. Yeah. Like, straight up fuck you.
Why not just make a painting that doesn't rot after a week?
Exactly. The whole point of a pumpkin is to carve it out so not only the light comes out and it makes a lantern, which is cool and creepy at night, but when it rots, it looks even cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't understand it. Like this, too. These are decals.
It's the
Decals
worst.
on a pumpkin. Like, so you're literally just buying this at a store and slapping it on your gourd that's, again, going to rot. I think I got another one, too. Yeah, look at that. Oh, don't you want that on your porch?
No.
Boo. All
right, listen. I might have had a couple of pumpkin smashings back in my day.
Yes.
I've grown out of it.
So have we all.
Yeah. But if
Devil's Night is a real thing.
If I see your fucking painted pumpkin on your doorstep, I'm walking right up to that goddamn thing and I'm smashing it. I'm smashing it good, and you're gonna have to pick up all the guts.
Yeah. I'll even go this far. I'll even go this far. If you are someone who's very artistic and whatnot, decals be damned. Okay, you're going and buying decals and putting them on your pumpkin. Put them on your window. Put them on your car. Don't put them on a frickin'. Just don't. But if you want to paint a pumpkin because you're a really good painter, fine. But put it next to a jack-o'-lantern. Do both. That way, at least Dustin won't smash it.
No, I'm gonna pick that painted pumpkin and I'm gonna smash your carved pumpkin with it.
Smash.
You go all the way or not at all. Don't. No. It's done. We're done here.
I do love this time of year, though, because when people do create jack-o'-lanterns, it is fun to walk around neighborhoods and down streets and stuff like that and see different people's, you know, whether they use the stencil or whether they, you know, came up with some crazy, you know, thing themselves.
Dude, this time of year is always the best.
It is the best.
I feel like I can hear the leaves crunching as you walk through your yard.
Yeah.
It's just starting to get chilly, so there's no mosquitoes out, but it's like hoodie weather. I love hoodie weather.
Yeah.
It's the best time of year here.
It is the best time. It is the best time of year.
If you're not an upstate New Yorker or in the general vicinity, you don't actually know what we're dealing with here. And the summers are horrible and the winters are horrible. And this is the best.
I want to end on this, actually, actually, most people do know what it's like up here during Halloween. Because if you think about it, popular culture in Halloween for movies and television, more often than not, 90% of the time, is set in a New England type vibe. Mm-hmm. Very few times do you see a Halloween story, especially one involving trick-or-treating or jack-o'-lanterns or that kind of thing, in LA.
Yeah.
Or Florida.
Yeah.
Or Hawaii. Or like someplace tropical.
It doesn't feel right.
Right, it doesn't feel right. It's always with, you know, like leaves changing area. It's always like a little bit of a snowy, maybe not, you know, like it's always in either New England or upper North America, Minnesota, that kind of area, you know, like.
Man, everywhere else is just missing out on this.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many bad times to be an upstate New Yorker.
Pretty much every other time.
Every other time. But it's almost worth it for October.
It really is. It's magical around this time.
Happy October.
Happy October, everybody.
D-Man's Death Wish Update. Brought to you by Death Wish Coffee.
Alrighty, D-Man. So this week, we revealed it to you last week. Got to talk about it again because it's right around the corner. Our Halloween mug, our Nevermore mug, is coming out right before Halloween. We're really, really excited about it. You have a chance to win one right now. If you go on over to deathwishcoffee.com/contests, I'll put that link right in this show. You still have a chance to add some entries every single day, and a winner's going to walk away with this mug all for their very own. But we're going to release 5,000 of them right around the corner. And I wanted to walk you guys through again because I feel the more times we say this, the more people know about it. The best way to know about mug releases. So first of all, you guys who are watching this, you're doing the right thing. You're watching us on the show or you're listening to us on the podcast and you're listening to the update, and we're giving you the most up-to-date news we possibly can. Also, go on over to deathwishcoffee.com and subscribe to the newsletter. That newsletter comes out multiple times a week, especially every single Thursday, and that gives you a lot of the updates on new products that are coming out as well. Finally, if you specifically are looking for mugs, we have a text list. It's very easy. All you got to do is text the word mugs to 484848. That's 48 3 times, and you're on the list. That means every time we release a Deneen Pottery limited edition mug, that day that it gets released, the second it gets released, those text messages go out. It'll go right to your phone saying, the Nevermore mug has now been released. Click here to buy. And all you got to do is click it right on your phone, and you'll be able to click that and buy it right there. That's how you get the mug.
It's that easy.
Now, what's crazy is that every time before we do a mug release, we do a golden ticket day. And this, if you guys are watching Wednesday night, I feel safe enough to say that it's tomorrow, everybody. Tomorrow is golden ticket day. So what that means is that every single purchase made on deathwishcoffee.com tomorrow has a chance to win the golden ticket mug. Do we know how many?
I know how many are there, but I don't know how many we're releasing.
Usually around, let's say, 20. Sometimes more, sometimes less. Yeah. We leave some back sometimes just in case they break in transit. So almost 20 of you will have a chance to win a variant edition of this mug. That means the colors will be different, but the medallion will be the same, and the mug will also be the same. But not only on tomorrow are those chances, those golden ticket chances, able to happen, and you don't know until you get your order. So you could order a pound of coffee, and you normally get your little box of coffee, but it comes in a bigger box.
Bigger box.
You know that means? You know that you got a mug in there.
Oh man!
But every single order placed tomorrow will get a free gift.
Oh, you have it. This is the Nevermore patch.
Right here, and I'll put up a nice picture right in the show as well. But it's the medallion from the mug as a patch. I love this frickin' patch. I love it.
I mean, it's. The medallion's so cool. Why would you not want a patch of this? And it's nice and thick, embroidered. Awesome. That's a real heavy-duty patch.
It's awesome.
All our patches are really nice.
But it's awesome. So once again, tomorrow, every single order placed on deathwishcoffee.com will get this patch. And on top of that, if you are a subscriber to our coffee, and you get our coffee every week, every 2 weeks, every month, however you got your subscription set up, in your next subscription will be this patch. So how cool is that? Tomorrow's a great day.
Tomorrow's a wonderful day.
You get a free thing for every order that you make, and you have a chance to win a variant mug, a mug that only like a handful of people will ever own. It's pretty cool.
It's getting colder out, Jeff.
I know.
What do you need when it's getting colder?
A frickin' hoodie.
A frickin' hoodie.
All right, I got one here. I want D-Man to put it on.
Ooh, I love modeling clothes for the people. This is probably my favorite hoodie design yet. I'm a big fan of zip-ups.
Yep, and like we've said, we try to switch it up every single year. We do a pullover one year and a zip-up the next year. Last year was a pullover. This year is the zip-up. Nice heavy-duty hoodie. This is a large that D-Man's putting on right now. But it came out great. Pockets in the front. Excuse me. Woo! The world's strongest coffee logo right on the front there. The Death Wish coffee going down the hood, and then turn around for that nice big logo on the back so you can rep Death Wish coffee wherever you go. I gotta get a catwalk to come like straight at you guys and back. Jeez. Well, show's over, I guess. Just fashion show now. But yeah, guys, we love doing these hoodies. And what's cool is the last couple years we ran into some problems, especially last year. We ran into some problems with the hoodies, and it was almost touch and go near the end of the year to get them out in time, like for that time of year. And this is right around the corner. In a couple of weeks, we're releasing this hoodie, and we got not a ton, but enough of them. A good amount of them. And you guys will be able to get them just in time for the weather to change and be super comfy because it's awesome. I can't wait to get mine. I really can't. I love it. I love that we got this logo on there. Yeah.
That's good.
It's really, really great. So finally, guys, I wanted to bring up something that you guys have been asking about almost every single show. And I have a physical thing in my hand right here that is the prototype of this, but I'm going to show you guys some pictures as we're talking about this. But one thing you guys have been wondering is, are we going to do chocolate again?
We're changing the chocolate game this year.
We've upped the game on chocolate. We're coming out with chocolate bars. Now, I'm going to show you this packaging up close and personal, and I'm also going to show you the chocolate bar. The chocolate bar is going to be embossed with our skull and crossbones right on it, which is really, really cool. We're working with a different company this year called Ethereal Chocolate, and I'm going to explain to you the magic that this company does. This is insane. I didn't know chocolate companies did this. This is called bean to bar. So what we did is the amazing Thomas Dragonetti, he went out and found this company. And
by the way, we vetted tons of other companies.
Tons.
We tested and tested and tested until we found the exact company that we wanted.
We wanted to up the game. We pride ourselves on the product we've come out with, the world's strongest coffee. We pride ourselves that not only is the world's strongest coffee, but that is a good product, a good tasting product that makes you feel good. And we wanted to do the same with the chocolate that we paired with it. So this company, Ethereal Chocolate, does this thing called bean to bar. So what they did is they got our coffee. We sent them whole bean coffee. They grinded it up. And they drank that coffee, and they cupped it just like we've been doing with the cupping. And they did a cupping and a taste test, and then tasted it with chocolate,
different kinds of chocolate.
So then they found the right chocolate to pair with Death Wish coffee, procured those cocoa beans, roasted the cocoa beans
to match the roast of our coffee.
To match the roast of the coffee, blended them both, added cacao nibs to it, and then are pressing it into a bar. So this is not your average Hershey bar, people. This is an incredible alchemy of coffee and chocolate.
That's the word I was going to say.
It's incredible. Guys, I cannot wait for you to get your hands on these. And this, you want to talk about a couple weeks away. This is a couple weeks away. It's high quality chocolate. So again, it's not your Hershey bar. Don't expect this to be a 99-cent bar. No. It's not. It's not going to be $50 either, but I mean, it's not going to be $1 bar of chocolate that, that is just nothing.
It won't taste like $1 bar. It will taste like the most fantastic chocolate that you've ever put in your stupid face.
And
your face is not stupid. My face is stupid. I just assume everybody else's face is stupid.
We're just getting angry at the end here. The great thing about this is it's also going to be caffeinated with our coffee in it, and I've said this in years past. Careful. When we first
smash a whole bar, I don't even know how many milligrams of caffeine would be in a whole bar, but it's probably quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't know if it's
not only. I mean, it's one thing when you're drinking coffee, but when you're eating coffee beans,
yeah,
that's a whole nother level. It's a slow, heavy burn of caffeine.
Yeah, so it's great. They use organic ingredients. It's gluten-free. It's vegan. It's Ethereal Confections and Death Wish Coffee made a chocolate bar. We've upped the game, everybody, guys. You guys were wondering if we were going to do chocolate again. It's coming, and it's coming soon. And just like a lot of our products, let me just leave you with this. This is a limited release, like everything. But if you guys go crazy for this, like I think you're going to go crazy for this, we'll probably do it again real soon. I just know
I will say it does take time to make.
It does. I just know this first run, it's a super limited release. It's going to be first come, first serve, buy as much as you want, and then it's gone. And like I said, we'll most likely do it again, but it does take some time. So keep watching, keep listening, keep waiting for that chocolate.
Smells like heaven.
Can't wait, guys. Can't wait. That's it. I'm going to leave it there. We gave you a lot of reveals this week. Remember, tomorrow is that golden ticket. And we'll be back next week with more news on the update from the World's Strongest Coffee Company.
And that's the show,
That's
ladies
the
and gentlemen.
Nope. That's the show. That was the show. No, see, that's just it. I feel terrible doing that.
You sound terrible doing it.
Thank you guys so much for watching, for sharing, for commenting. One lucky winner will be picked as soon as we sign off in those comments. And don't forget, tomorrow, tune into the podcast with our friend Chris51. We talk about tattooing, we talk about geek culture, and we talk about his new con, the Headbangers Con, which is going to probably change the game for music and for conventions. It's amazing. You guys are not going to want to miss that episode tomorrow on the podcast. One final time, if you'd like to follow Dustin and myself on social media, it's really easy. I am at Jeff Wish Coffee.
I am at Deathwish Dustin.
And we will be back next week with a brand new show, a brand new chance to win, and a lot more fun. Goodbye, guys.
Cheers.